Join me to make lunch. How are you all doing, guys? So today we are having beans and yam. I feel like to cook beans and yam for lunch today. So this is the beans that I got from wholesale market. I was about to put it in a storage. So by then, after putting it, I have to measure like 3 cups because I don't want it to be that much. So I was like, okay, I have to put some water inside the beans. I first of all wash it for the first time because I'm still going to wash it again after parboiling the beans. Yeah, I will also wash it again. So by then I added some water. I put it on the fire so that the beans will be able to boil. I put on the gas. I was about to wait for the beans to boil before I will start by washing it. While I was waiting, I went straight to the fridge to get some tomatoes, chili pepper and bell pepper because I will be using it to cook the beans. So immediately I brought it, I was like, okay, I have to wash it. I made sure that I wash it properly. I brought out my blender. I have to put I was trying to cut it inside the blender so that it will be able to blend very well because I don't want the blender to get spoiled while it's blending. But if you didn't cut it like this, the blender may spoil. So I was like, okay, I have to cut onion. I washed onion and cut it inside the blender. I was cutting it tiny. So by then I have to cover. I added a little bit of water so it can be able to blend on time. So by then I have to plug the blender. I was like, okay, it is time for me to blend it. Now I put on the blender. While it was blender, I went ahead by doing other things. So while I was preparing the beans and other things, my children, they were so hungry. They were like, they want to eat something. I was like, I don't think that they can be able to wait for the beans to done. So I decided to make some bread and egg for them. So the beans is now boiled. I brought out the bean. I have to sieve it. I added a little bit of water in the pot and raise it properly. So I want to wash the beans now. I added some water in the pot although. So I was trying to make sure that I put the pot on the gas so that the gas will not trip over. I don't know the reason why anytime I'm cooking, if I remove my pot from the gas, it always off the gas. I don't know why. So I decided to put the gas so that the gas will not off. So this is time for me to pour in the beans now. So I added the beans in the water, although I did not wait for the water to boil, so it will start. I noticed that the water was not enough. I have to add more water. So I have already cut my onion, pepper and other things. I will be making, I want to use it to fry egg for the bread so that they will be able to use the egg and be waiting for the beans and porridge yam, beans and yam to be ready. So this when I was I was putting the egg in the plate so I can be able to fry egg for them. So I fry about 6 egg, so because the bread is a little bit much. So this one I was just mixing it up. I added some seasoning, a little bit of seasoning and also pinch of salt. I mix it up together. I make sure that I mix it up properly. So by then I was like, okay, I need to get my frying pan. So I brought out my frying pan. I went straight to put it on the fire. I put on the gas. So it is time for us to by then I went straight to check the beans. I added some salt because I did not remember to add salt immediately. So I added some salt in the beans and cover it. So after cutting off the bread into two, I was putting the butter in the pan. I want to use the butter. I don't want to use vegetable oil to fry the egg. So this when I was just frying the egg. So I thought I'll take 2 spoons because I want each bread to have 2 spoons of egg. So immediately if I have to swap the egg and make sure that it will not be that too big, so it will be the size of the bread. So this one I was just putting it inside the bread one after the other. So I was trying to make sure that everything is okay. So I was like, okay, I brought out another bread also. I also place it one after the other. That is why I was just taking two spoon of egg. After frying it, I'll be putting it that way, guys. So that is it. After that, I was like, oh, okay, it's like it look as if my pot wants to get burned. Let me just remove some things that is inside the pot so it will not get burned. So immediately I finished doing that, so I have to add some egg. I went straight to the sink. I kept I have to soak the frying pan in the water. I have to soak it so that it will be cold so we can be able to wash it on time. It will not be hot while washing it. So I brought out the chocolate. We are going to have we are having hot chocolate. We want to use hot chocolate to eat the bread and egg. So I was trying to put teaspoon, two teaspoon of hot chocolate in the cup. I have already made the tea. I added some evaporated milk. I have to call them to come and have their lunch. So since you guys will not be able to wait for me to prepare the beans and yam, so I have to call them to come and carry it. So they came around. I was trying to put the bread one after the other. I was trying to share it for everyone. So Michael was like, he was looking for the one that is bigger. That I don't know the reason why Michael really love food a lot. So I have to ask him to take any one that he feel like to take. So this is when I was just eating my. So everybody have taken their own. So we are now eating and also prepare to make another thing. I was like, okay, let me just drink tea. The tea was so hot. I was just cutting it. So after eating, we went straight to take some water. So this is when everybody was like, let us drink water after drinking the tea. So by then it is time for us to cook the beans. I was rushing so I can be able to check the beans and do other things. So it is time now. I was like, okay, when I checked, it happens to be the beans was, you need a little bit of water. I added some water inside the beans and cover it. This is the yam that I will be using to cook the beans. I have already cut and washed the yam and soak it inside the water so that it will not change color. So when the beans is done, I have to put the yam. I have to pour in the yam inside the beans. I will be using palm oil for the beans. I added some onion, chopped onions in the beans. And this type of palm oil that I want to use to cook the beans, I want to use another method of cooking beans, because before, if I want to cook beans, I always like to make sauce to fry the tomatoes and other thing. But today I decided to use another method to cook it. So I have to pour in the tomato that way straight. I didn't fry it. I didn't make the sauce. So after that, I went straight to the sink. I have to cover it and went straight to the sink to clean up the blender immediately. So I was like, okay, let me just check how it is. I added some palm oil straight and cover it. I added some crayfish and salt and a little bit of seasoning. So the food is now ready. Now I was trying to dish it up for myself. So the children, they were like, they are not eating now. They are not hungry because they are already eating something. So I was like, okay, let me just take and eat mine. So thank you guys for watching. Can you like and subscribe and also follow? See you in my next video. Bye.